Hello there everyone. I thought I'd make a video. I haven't made one in a little while, but I've posted, I've submitted my work for this academic year and received my grades back and done very well, and so I'm now free for the summer. So I thought as I've got the chance this afternoon, I thought I'd make a video. And I thought for this video I'd smoke for the first time my Alpine hunter's pipe. I showed this pipe in another video and I didn't know what sort of pipe this was or where it may have come from. So I posed the question as to its origins in one of my previous videos, and I believe the first person to get back to me was Redcoat's Return, who explained that this was a kind of Austrian German traditional pipe for a hunter. I call this an Alpine hunter's pipe. It says on the side the Tyrolean, and I think the Tyrol region is I believe is a region in Austria. The pipe itself is made up from, it has a briar bowl and a sort of shank here, but what looks like birch for the sort of tube here, the pipe part of it, and I believe a sort of bone or horn mouthpiece that screws into the top. And apparently originally these pipes would have been made by hunters, and typically include, a little bit of antler or branch, the things found out in the wild that a hunter would have had access to. Yes, thank you very much for those of you who did get back to me regarding this pipe, in particular Redcoat's Return. Because it's nice to know the origin of things you own, and this pipe was given to me by my grandmother this Christmas gone, and yeah, it's nice. Got a briar bowl with a nice tight grain, so I can't see any reason why it shouldn't smoke well, and it's got a wind cap actually, only pipe I own which features the wind cap. So I thought for this video I'd film my first smoke of this pipe, tell you what I thought about it, and also talk about some of the tobaccos I've smoked recently, some new tobaccos which until recently I hadn't tried, and a shop which I visited just yesterday, actually, a fantastic little tobacconist not too far from where I currently live. So housekeeping, I am smoking some Germain's Rich Dark Flake, which is nice stuff. I'm going to twist that to the side because on that charring light there I got the wind cap extremely hot. I think to light this I should probably try and keep it out of the flame. Right. For those of you who haven't tried Germain's Rich Dark Flake, you really should. If you live in the USA, as many of my viewers do, it will be very hard to get hold of. So I suppose it's as hard for you to get hold of some Germain's Rich Dark Flake as it would be for us to get hold of some of the Esoterica range here in the UK. We can't get hold of those tobaccos, unfortunately. It's not something that we can obtain easily here, or indeed over, I gather, in America it's pretty hard to get hold of it. But the Germain's Rich Dark Flake has been compared by many to Stonehaven. Now, I've not tried Stonehaven, but I have tried Penzance and 1820 Flake by Germain. Many say that 1820 and Penzance are just as similar as Stonehaven and Rich Dark Flake. And 1820 Flake is certainly very similar to Esoterica Penzance. So I can only guess that Stonehaven and RDF are also very similar. Another tobacco I smoked recently, and I got through ever so fast. And again, I am sorry if you're from the USA, because I don't believe you can get this on that side of the pond. But this tobacco is Samuel Gareth's Full Virginia Plug. Now, I'd never tried the Flake, but I thought if I were to buy the Full Virginia tobacco, it might be better for storage purposes to buy it in plug form, though I've since read reviews which say that the plug is a sort of deeper, richer, slightly sweeter, but also less harsh smoke, which probably worked out really well for me. And I have to say the Full Virginia Plug was wonderful. I'd really quite like to try the Full Virginia Flake now. Here in the UK we can buy the Full Virginia Plug in bulk from many of the UK online tobacconists. I've not seen it in a tobacco shop on the high street, but I've noted that quite a few of the online retailers have it. You know, I know this looks absolutely bizarre, but I actually find it smokes a little bit better at the sound. Every time I turn it back again and put the cap on, it seems to be going out on me. I appreciate that some of the I've seen a few of these pipes since I received this one actually on the internet and stuff, and some of them look a little better made. Whilst I'm sure the materials, you know, the briar wood and the bone mouthpiece and stuff are all of a decent quality with this pipe, I wouldn't go as far as saying it's a really good example of an Alpine hunter's pipe. and now I'm smoking it, I'm afraid to say it's really quite ghosted. It's not a bad smoker. The smoke's coming out really cool, and there's a decent flavour there, but it is ghosted with a Lakeland essence, which of course is to be expected. This is the first time I've smoked this, and it wasn't a new pipe. This is the first time I've smoked a pipe where I could well and truly say it's been utterly ghosted, and this pipe had no tobacco odour at all, which to me suggests that it hadn't been smoked in many years. I'd go as far as saying over a decade since this has last been smoked, and I've given it a clean, but I am getting Lakeland essence. The smoke, it's not full in your face Lakeland, but bearing in mind this is rich dark flake, which isn't Lakelandy in the slightest. To me, this is tasting not like rich dark flake at all, much more like Peterson Hyde Park, well, I don't know if any of you smoked Bob's Chocolate Flake. That's got a sort of, on the retrohale through the nose, a background note of Lakeland. And the experience is that now, there's the sort of sweetness and the richness of rich dark flake, but the aftertaste and the retrohale is completely Lakeland. So that tells me something about the previous owner of this pipe. They were clearly into their Lakeland tobacco. Perhaps I shouldn't have risked rich dark flake in a pipe I'd not smoked, as it's such a lovely pipe tobacco. So yes, I bought it in bulk in a sample. I showed a few videos back actually. I bought 3 Germain's samples, and I liked all 3 immensely in completely different ways. One of the best flavour wise was actually Germain's brown flake, and we're all different, but it's rather unusually for me. I don't normally get tongue bite, but it did bite me a bit, to the point where I think I might not get it again, because as the sort of straight Virginia or Virginia focused tobaccos go, I did prefer the full Virginia plug. Excellent stuff. By the way, if you're in the UK, get it just to try. You know, it's really good, really sweet and rich and tasty. And if you're in the US but you have a UK contact, fellow pipe enthusiast from England or Britain, get them to order you some, especially if you're a fan of the full Virginia flake, which, as I say, I've not tried. Yesterday I went for a walk and stumbled into a tobacconist in West London, and they had some of the best range of Cuban cigars I'd ever seen, and a fantastic range of tinned pipe tobaccos. Really excellent, better than most of the big London stores like Fox of St James, Dunhill or Davidoff. And yet they're a tiny little shop on a high street in West London. And something I saw there which I've not seen anywhere else in a shop in England was, or in all of Britain in fact, a tin of Germain's Rich Dark Flake. Now, yeah, well, as I said, I'd not seen a tin of Rich Dark Flake in the UK ever. The only Germain's tobacco tin I've seen in England would be their Royal Jersey Perique, I believe. I saw that once in a London tobacconist. But this, I thought it was a bit of a find, and I have to say, of the three sampled actually, Rich Dark Flake wasn't my favourite. I think that must go to 1820 Flake. I really liked that. I actually prefer it to Penzance. I know that's a bit of a taboo thing to say with the cult following that Penzance has, but I did. Rich Dark Flake was excellent, and as they had tins of the stuff, I thought, blimey, you know, better get some, and I could always cellar it. I have to say that it's a little bit of a shame that I can't enjoy the tobacco for what it is in this pipe. I'm enjoying the smoke, but it's so ghosted. So I'll give it a proper clean out. Before I smoke it again. But in terms of smoking mechanics, it's a good pipe. This mouthpiece isn't particularly comfortable. It's so, you know, circular rather than flat. So clenching it, you have to sort of find a niche within the teeth. Somewhere it'll just sit. But because you're having to focus on clenching it quite hard, it's not the easiest pipe to talk with whilst it's in your mouth. But I'm managing okay now, I suppose. And whilst it's a shame that this pipe is completely ghosted, this isn't an unpleasant smoke. I'm not offended by the flavour and smell of Lakeland tobacco. But when you pack a bowl of Rich Dark Flake and you're expecting to smoke that, perhaps this is a little disappointing. Well, I've yabbered on long enough, so I'll leave it there. But I've received a few new subscriptions since I last posted a video, so thank you to new subscribers. Sorry, I'm not the most frequent at posting new videos, but I'm glad that people are enjoying my content. And until next time, I hope you all enjoy your smokes.